Welcome to the Efficientpreneur Show with Ahmed Al-Karemli, where you learn how to build and scale your business profitability online with less time, effort, and cost, so you can enjoy a fulfilling lifestyle.
Hi everyone, this is Ahmed Al-Karemli and welcome to Be Efficient TV. The mission of this web TV show is to help you start and scale your business efficiently. And today I have with me Bill Widmer. He is a content marketing strategist and SEO expert. Welcome to the show, Bill.
Thanks for having me, Ahmed. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. So who is Bill Widmer?
Oh man, philosophical question. Essentially, like you said, I'm into content marketing and SEO. What I do is I create world-class content and then rank that content for given keywords, so I can take that organic search traffic and turn it into sales for my clients. On a professional level, that's who Bill Widmer is.
How did you start in this space and what you were doing before that?
So it started when I was in college about 5 years ago, and I started my first ever business. My professor actually convinced me to do it. It was a promotional products company, and him and my mom were my only two customers. So it didn't go very well, but that kind of sparked this desire in me to start a business and do things on my own, because I never really liked being an employee. I never really enjoyed working for someone else or being in a building in one spot for hours on end. So I went down that path. I started some e-commerce stores. I tried out an Etsy store. I did a lot of stuff on Shopify, drop shipping with AliExpress, and I never really made any money on it. But then one day I tried out freelance writing on Upwork, and I made like $5 from an article that took me like over 3 hours to write. So it wasn't good pay at all, but I was fascinated with the idea that someone would actually pay me to write something for them. So I kind of kept up with it and kept raising my rates over time. So I became this sort of freelance writer, and then found my niche in digital marketing and e-commerce and just general online business. And it grew from there, and I learned about this thing called content marketing, which was not only could I write the articles, but now I could put the effort into promoting them, and then I could charge people more for that. And then from there, that naturally led into SEO and learning how to rank that content. So it was just kind of a natural progression over time.
And with that, you do ads as well? You run ads for people, or you just pure content marketing? Organic.
So I focus mostly on organic. I don't really do a lot of PPC. I do a little bit of Facebook ad post boosts, but not any real like PPC campaigns or anything like that. I focus mostly on organic.
Okay. Is SEO still working?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm ranking content all the time.
Why most marketers are not focusing on SEO now in comparison with before?
This episode is brought to you by the Efficientpreneur Club. The Efficientpreneur Club is a private and affordable one-on-one business coaching club for business owners and entrepreneurs who want to build and scale their business profitability and performance with less time, effort, and cost, and without risking their freedom. So whether you are still figuring out the right business model, strategy, and pricing, or you need help to improve your funnels, ads, sales, and conversion, then the Efficientpreneur Club is for you. Your business challenges are not going to fix themselves unless you fix them today. And the consequences of not addressing that today is your business profitability and performance will not improve, and your relationships and health will continue to be affected. It's no wonder that building and scaling a business becomes so stressful over time, but it doesn't have to be that way. The Efficientpreneur Club will help you take your business to the next level with a private and affordable one-on-one coaching with me personally, tailored to your unique needs. I will help you clarify your direction, set a strategic action plan, and guide you step by step to build and scale your business efficiently. The Efficientpreneur Club will also provide access to an extensive how-to video library, the most highly recommended tools, and a supportive community of like-minded business owners to help you along the way with feedback, encouragement, and advice. The Efficientpreneur Club is the perfect place to be if you want to maximize your profits, minimize your workload, and scale your freedom and efficiency. So check it out at efficientpreneurclub.com and say bye-bye to generic courses, secretive gurus, and expensive mentors.
Maybe because it's a lot harder now than it used to be. Back in the day when SEO first really became a big thing, all you had to do was stuff your keyword in the article 1,000 times and hide the text to make it be white so people couldn't see it, and then search engines would rank that. And then it became a little bit harder, but it was still pretty easy with like building private blog networks and doing all this kind of black hat SEO stuff, which was kind of against Google's terms, but was hard to catch them. But it was still easy to do that and easy to rank. Now, today, Google's gotten really good at filtering out all the crap, and you really have to write something that's worthy of ranking. It's not just writing a 500-word SEO article anymore. So I think that's the biggest reason.
But even after that black hat, when they were people were hiding the text, still they were in control of like putting pages in the top of the ranking. But later on, marketers moved away from focusing on SEO because Google kept changing the game, the rules of the game. So they just like now, I don't see marketers really as before focus on SEO. So what are the terms or things that you focus on page and off page in terms of SEO now to make it
So the things that are really important to pay attention to, number one, making sure that you're targeting the right keywords that are actually going to drive revenue to your bottom line. That's really hard to do still, but the way that I found to go in that direction at least is to look at the keywords that have a high cost per click, because the fact that people are willing to spend 10, 15, even $50 or $100 per click on a keyword means that they're getting a return on investment from it. So if you rank for that keyword naturally, you can get that return without actually having to put in the money for the PPC. So once you target the right keywords, as far as on-page goes, I focus a lot on content optimization, content performance, which I actually use a tool called Cognitive SEO, and you can literally paste your content in there, and it'll tell you, okay, you need to use these keywords more often, and these keywords that aren't even included in your article right now. And it uses like artificial intelligence and different algorithms to find those keywords that Google considers related to or synonymous with your main keyword. And it'll actually give you a score on 0 to 100 as to how optimized your content is. And I found that alone can get you ranking higher. And then, of course, there's the backlinks, building links from other sites, finding resource pages or broken link building or guest posting, all of that kind of stuff too.
So if you can take me step by step to do this. First you write the article and then you copy paste it on this tool, and then you keep change, and while it's live on the, let's say, the WordPress blog, and then you keep, based on the suggestions of the tool, you optimize the, you keep changing the copy in order to rank better. And is this tool tells you that what's the current ranking of this article on Google?
Well, I actually use Ahrefs for all of my keyword research and ranking analysis. I'll take you through it step by step. So the first step, like I said, is finding the right keyword and finding the right topics. So the way that I do that is by looking at my competitors and other big blogs in my niche or related niches and seeing their best content, what's doing really well for them. And then I'll kind of find the stuff that's doing really well for a lot of different people and bring that in as a topic I write about. So to do that, I go to Ahrefs, I type in their URL, and I look at the best content based on the number of backlinks it's getting. And then I use those as kind of my topic ideas. From there, I do the keyword research. I figure out, okay, so this is the right topic. Now what's the right keyword to focus on for this topic? What's the one that's really going to drive the most clicks? The highest search volume, lowest difficulty.
Long
Go ahead.
Keyword, long tail, or like how many words usually each keyword?
It really depends on your industry. I like to focus on the one that gets the most search volume, even if it's a little more difficult, just because you can still rank for the long tail, even if you're focused on the short tail. So, for example, I wrote a post about RV accessories and I'm also ranking for best RV accessories, must-have RV accessories, RV tire covers, and all these other things that are related to RV accessories. It might take longer to rank for that main keyword, but you're still going to rank for all the other long tail stuff too if you do it right.
Okay, and
Does
then
that answer the
next
question?
step?
And then the next step after you do the keyword research is to outline the article. And then I like to look at lsigraph.com. I put my main keyword in there and see all the LSI keywords. And then I'll use that along with competitive research. I Google the keyword and see what the top competitors are. And I use the combination of LSI keywords and these competitors to create an outline for the article. So that way I know I'm covering everything that Google cares about. I'm covering everything that my competitors are covering, so I can go more in depth and make it better. And then I know that it's going to be the best result once it's finished for that given keyword. It's going to answer all of the sub-questions or the subtopics within that main topic. Once I'm done with the outline, I'll actually write the content, and that's just a matter of, making sure you're covering everything.
So you do the outline before the content
Yes.
is it? Okay. The outline is
Yep.
just for the keywords or for the article in general?
For the article in general. So it's
outline, you say like, bullet points, and what do you mean by outline?
So I usually, I actually have a template that I do all this with, but I put down my primary keyword, my LSI keywords, my competing content, which are just the articles that are ranking for my primary keyword. And then I'll do an outline which actually has the headers and subheaders that have the LSI keywords included in them, if possible.
Okay. So someone comes to you and tells you, Bill, I want an article about X subject, and you gonna strategize the article and write it for him or her, and then you, let's say you promise them a certain, like people when they search for a specific keyword that you agree with the client, the article will pop up when, like what, at top 3 on Google, or how you usually do that?
So once the article is written, then I go through an editing process to make sure it's good, and then I optimize the content. When I mention cognitive SEO in the beginning, that tool, that's where I copy the article from the Google Doc, paste it into this tool, and then make sure I include all of those extra keywords too, and get the content performance up to like an 80 or a 90 at least, based on that tool. And then when it actually gets published, as far as how high it ranks, it really depends a lot on the difficulty of that particular keyword and the domain authority of the site that I'm writing for. It could be anywhere from as little as 2 weeks to as long as 6 to even 12 months. So it's a big gap based on the actual difficulty of the keyword and the domain authority. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. To rank what? To rank the top on Google, or like within this time frame of 2 weeks to 10 months, or how usually it works?
Yeah. So my goal is always the top 3, preferably the top 1, obviously, but that's not always possible. But yeah, I would say within 2 weeks to 12 months, again, depending on the difficulty of the keyword and domain authority. That's for a top 3 ranking.
Okay. And you repeat it over and over again, this process, and it's working. You know what Google wants, and you have mastered the craft of doing this. Like.
Oh yeah, I've been doing this for years. It works really well.
So to explain to people in plain English, what's content marketing?
It's basically creating targeted content that helps. It really depends on your goal. I mean, I'm heavily focused on search engines and driving traffic that way, but there's also content that's written for social media that does really well socially but isn't necessarily written for search engines. There's content that does a combination of both, but essentially at its core, content marketing is just creating great content to get your brand name out there, to drive traffic to your website, and to get people into your sales funnel.
And you do the social media part as well, or you focus only on search engines? And which search engines you focus on? Just Google, or you do Bing and others?
Yeah, I just focus on Google. I haven't gotten into Bing or anything, but that's mostly, Bing is only like, I think, 15% of what Google has. So, I mean, they're getting there, they're raising, but they're still nowhere near the volume that Google has. And then for social media, I do promote my content on social media, and I do, I tag people if I link to them in the article or something like that. But I don't focus too heavily on social. I haven't found a ton of success with it, except for Pinterest. I've actually found a ton of success with Pinterest, but the other social networks not so much.
So you do Pinterest. If someone comes to you, you help them with Pinterest.
Not directly, no. It's kind of in addition to what it is that my main focus of search engine and the content itself.
But why Pinterest? And it's focused more on the women market, or do you find it more works for the men, these days?
So Pinterest is definitely more populated with women, but there are more men coming into it. I mean, I think it used to be like 90% women. Now I think it's only like 65-ish, somewhere in there, women. So it definitely depends on the industry that you're in. For my B2C clients, I find it a lot better than B2B because it's just there's not as much of an audience there for B2B. But I actually wrote an article for sumo.com that outlines the whole process that I use. So if you want to check that out, it's on their blog.
Okay. B2C means B2B is just like, wholesalers, companies to companies you focus on, or you don't do any B2C?
I do very little B2C. Most of my work is in B2B. I found that I can do both. It's just easier for me to build links for my B2B clients because I do a lot of guest posting in the B2B world around like digital marketing and e-commerce and that kind of thing.
How do you find the influencing entrepreneurship, niche working in Pinterest?
I haven't
For
really
men.
tested it.
Oh.
Go ahead.
For men, sorry.
For men, yeah. I haven't really tested a whole lot. I've been using it for my own website, which is B2C, but I haven't been testing that area a lot yet. I just started it with the process that I use with the B2C to see if it does work. But at this time, I don't have any results yet.
What's inbound marketing?
Search engine optimization, content marketing. It's basically just drawing people to you as opposed to, push advertising like PPC. So people, they see an article on social media which draws them to your website, which kind of draws them in. Whereas outbound marketing is more of, okay, I'm physically going out and reaching out to these people.
So is anything organic is inbound?
Yeah.
Okay. Top 3 tips to generate targeted leads.
Do a lot of guest posting for sure. I've gotten almost all of my clients through guest posting for top websites in my niche. The other thing too is get on podcasts. I've gotten a lot of clients through podcasts like this one we're doing right now. And also a third one I would say is referrals. If you have happy customers, then chances are they're more than willing to refer you to anybody they might know. And typically people who are your ideal client hang out with other people who are also your ideal client. So there's a lot of connections to be made. So always be networking, always be getting your face out there in front of people as much as possible, and just try to be helpful.
Cold leads versus hot leads.
I hate cold leads. I do basically only inbound marketing. I don't do any outbound. In the beginning, when I really needed leads, I did a lot of outbound because you're when you don't have a name out there, you don't have anybody coming to you, so you have to kind of go out there. But I find that people who come to me either through referrals or through a guest post I wrote or a podcast, they're always it's almost a guaranteed sell. They already know what they want, they know who you are, they trust you and like you before they even talk to you. Whereas cold leads, when you're reaching out to somebody, they have no idea who you are, no idea what you do, and you can easily come across as spammy or insincere.
But how to explain the term to people in plain English? Cold
Which
leads.
term?
Cold leads versus
Cold leads?
hot leads.
Sure. So cold leads are essentially just leads that you're reaching out to that have no idea who you are or what you do or anything about you. Whereas hot leads are people who they know who you are, they know your name, they know your face, they've seen content that you've written, that kind of thing. So they're already kind of warmed up to you in a sense.
So like anything ads is cold, and how, like let's say after they opt in and you send them certain sequence of emails, like after how many emails you would consider them hot leads? Tricky question.
So yeah, it is. So emails from people who came to you through a PPC ad or who came to you through an inbound method?
No, PPC ad.
Okay. That's tough. That's tough.
So
like I said, I don't.
answer the organic first, and then if you can answer the PPC also.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you. You just disappeared for a while. Yeah, go ahead.
Not sure what happened there.
Yeah.
So you're.
Yeah. So back to the question, like hot leads versus cold leads, and after how many emails, whether it's organic or cold, coming from ads, after how many emails you consider the cold leads as hot leads?
So anybody that comes through PPC is pretty much a cold lead, unless they've seen you multiple times and clicked on multiple ads of yours. I'm not sure an exact number. That's kind of really hard to say. Like I said, I don't have a ton of experience with PPC, but with organic, a warm lead would be somebody who comes to your site through a search result or through even social media, that's following you on social media, and they reach out to you and say, hey, I'm interested in your services. To me, that would actually be a hot lead as opposed to a warm lead. A warm lead is someone who maybe reached out to you but didn't know what you do exactly, or reached out to you through a referral or something like that, whereas a hot lead is someone who's almost ready to buy, like they're asking you about your services kind of thing. The number of emails, I'm really not sure. It could be anywhere from 1 to 50. It all depends on when they're actually ready to buy.
You like organic now. I'm sure you have a system of analyzing this data and tracking your traffic, so you can measure the momentum of your growth. So which analytics or systems you use to track that, and do you have like a clear strategy? You feel that you are having more traffic every month or more traffic doesn't matter as much as conversion. Do you track that like on a monthly basis?
Yeah, so I use Ahrefs to track my actual rankings. I use Google Analytics to see the traffic numbers, and then the actual conversion numbers. I have conversion numbers for like email subscribers, which I use a tool for WordPress called Thrive Architect, or Thrive Themes, Thrive Leads, and it actually tells you how many impressions you got, and out of those impressions, how many actually converted into an email subscriber. And then from there, I don't actually track the conversions from subscriber to client because it's not at scale. I only have 10 clients that I work with, so it's not something I really need to hammer in on. If I had hundreds of clients or something, knowing those conversion percentages would be really important. But with the number of clients I have, as long as I have a general idea of what's converting well and what's not, then that's good enough for me for now.
What's social selling?
Social selling? Basically just using social media to sell your products or your services. So it could be just posting on social media with an offering of what it is that you do or what you're selling, or it could be something like you're setting it up with e-commerce and you actually have a buy button, like on your Instagram account. You can do that now, or on your Pinterest pins, you can actually have a buy button on there now.
I've seen one of your articles talking about the types of social media posts, like the shocking one, and what's working now.
Well, for me personally, in the B2B space, what's working is LinkedIn. That's where I'm spending a lot of my time right now, and a lot of opportunities come from that for me, because I post a lot about just giving away free knowledge. I almost write LinkedIn posts that are like mini articles that explain something, teach something, connect people together or just ask a question. And by constantly being top of mind, by people seeing me all the time on LinkedIn, it kind of there's this thing in psychology called the mere exposure effect, which essentially states that by merely being exposed to someone or something enough times, you tend to like them and trust them. So just by being top of mind, when people are ready to buy, they reach out to me as opposed to one of my competitors.
Let's focus a little bit on LinkedIn. Do you add people as connections to grow your connection list, or you just post content and wait organically for people to add you?
If you have enjoyed today's episode, I would like to invite you to check out efficientpreneurclub.com. The Efficientpreneur Club is the right membership for you if you've been working to grow your business for a while now and things aren't happening as fast as you want. If you are tired of generic courses, secretive gurus and expensive mentors who charge $2,000 to $5,000 a month then fob you off onto sub-coaches or connect with you in group coaching calls, if you are already stressed out about your business model, sales, productivity, team and systems, if you are scrambling in the evenings and on the weekends and you never have time for yourself and your family, those problems are not going to fix themselves unless you fix them today. Why? Because your business profitability and performance are not going to change unless you do, and your relationships and health will continue to be affected. Building and scaling a business becomes so stressful over time, but it doesn't have to be that way. The Efficientpreneur Club is a private and affordable one-on-one business coaching club for business owners and entrepreneurs who want to build and scale their business profitability and performance with less time, effort and cost, and without risking their freedom. The Efficientpreneur Club will help you take your business to the next level with a private and affordable individual coaching with me personally. I tailor the program to your unique needs. I will help you clarify your direction, set a strategic action plan, and guide you step by step to build and scale your business efficiently. The Efficientpreneur Club will also provide access to an extensive how-to video library, the most highly recommended tools, and a supportive community of like-minded business owners to help you along the way with feedback, encouragement, and advice. The Efficientpreneur Club is the perfect place to be if you want to maximize your profits, minimize your workload, and scale your freedom and efficiency. So check it out at efficientpreneurclub.com and say bye-bye to generic courses, secretive gurus, and expensive mentors.
So I did a lot of connection building in the beginning. LinkedIn, once you hit, I think it's 500 or 500 connections, it just says 500 plus. So people don't know how many you actually have. Once I hit 500, I stopped actively trying to build them. But I usually get, 2 or 3 connections a day anymore just by being active on LinkedIn.
Yeah, but there is like under that the followers, it shows how many followers you got. So
that's true.
And do you send them like people now use messages, like they send messages for their new connections to start conversation, and then they try to I think LinkedIn also allows you to download the emails of your connections or get them, and then they try to convert them into customers. Do you do that?
That would be fantastic, but no, I haven't tried that yet.
Okay. So you, what do you think about like the same blog post that you have on your website? You just copy paste them and put them as articles on LinkedIn.
I haven't done that. No, that's definitely a way of promoting your content and getting more people to see it, is to kind of repurpose it like that on like LinkedIn or Medium. But I haven't done a lot of it just because I've been busy with all of the search engine side of stuff.
Do you do any strategy to launch like products on social media within a specific number of days?
So I personally haven't actually launched any products yet. I am working on an SEO course that I'll be launching, but I don't have a ton to say about that because I haven't actually done it yet.
Okay. So what else? That's I've seen an amazing article that you wrote about the the persuasion tactics for better conversion optimization. Can you talk about that more a little bit?
Is that I think, what, cognitive sciences, I think I wrote that one for, or something?
I think yeah, it was very long and very detailed. Actually, we can do another maybe, another episode on just that. But like, if you can share with us like the top 3 or 4 tactics that you use to helps you convert clients.
For me personally, so it depends really on what it is that you're trying to sell. Like if you're in e-commerce versus you're selling client work, it's going to be different.
Let's talk about strategy calls.
Strategy goals in terms of what?
Strategy calls, which is the free strategy calls strategy.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So for me personally, I always have a call with a potential client before I ever think about selling them. I might get an email that says, hey, can you tell me how much your services cost or something like that? And I'll say, sure, let's have a call. I don't ever want to just work with someone without actually talking to them. And that's because when you get on the phone, when you get on a Skype call, you can see each other's body movements, you can see body language, you can see things that you just can't see over an email or over written communication.
So it must be a video call.
Yes.
For you.
Yes, I always do a video call.
Okay.
Yep.
And if the client is not comfortable with that?
If they're not comfortable, I'll do audio too, but I prefer video if possible.
Okay. And then, like, what is there is a script that you follow on the call, or what's the usual path that you take the client?
So it's not an actual word for word script, but I do have a sales notes template that I always get certain information before I ever get on the call with them. Like I get their website URL, some of their goals. I have them fill out a form before we actually have a call. And I always try and figure out I'd say my number one tactic is I always try and figure out their conversion numbers on their website right now based on their traffic. And then I use that to actually physically map out, like in a spreadsheet, how much money they could be making if they work with me. So I'll say, okay, if you have a 5% conversion rate and I rank you for this article or this keyword, which gets, you might get 10,000 clicks a month. And at 5% conversions, 500 extra sales per month. And then at your average order value of, $100 or something, just to keep the numbers simple, that would mean you're going to make an extra, you can make, 50,000, I think? 500 times 100. You could make that extra money every single month just by ranking for these keywords. So it makes it super simple to say, okay, take my money. It's like a money machine almost. You're spelling out exactly what they could make.
How you said you're tracking the conversions on a specific pages on the websites? Like if it's a normal WordPress site, and you're not tracking through Facebook. So how do you are tracking the conversions in terms of in terms of knowing that the conversion came from that specific organic traffic?
Yeah, so I use goal settings in Google Analytics. I actually have funnels set up, so I can see, okay, they came to this article through search. From that article, they clicked on this landing page and became an email subscriber. And then after X number of emails, they became a client. That's basically my premise for it. That's how I can actually track what content actually leads to sales. It's not always so cut and dry. I mean, sometimes they might visit 5 or 6 articles before they even get into becoming an email subscriber, and that's a little bit harder to track. But that's kind of how I do it pretty much.
Let me ask you, I have like an issue with an embedded Calendly code on a specific page that I'm unable to track the conversion from that. I can see how many, like I can link it via Zapier and see how many conversions coming from my active campaign account on like how many people have booked a call there, but I cannot know from the page how many the conversion numbers. So is there a way to know that?
So it's a link on the page?
It's an embedded HTML code on let's say a lead page or a landing page or WordPress, and it's difficult to know the conversions for the page.
Yeah, embedded forms are a little bit tougher.
Okay.
I don't have a direct solution for you. If it were me, I'd probably go to my my web design guy and ask him for a little bit of help with that. I'm not sure. You might be able to use UTM parameters. Are you familiar with that?
No, no.
So a UTM parameter is essentially, if you just Google UTM parameter, you can build one, but it tells you, it's basically like a new URL, which has built in the page that it's on and the campaign that it's on, and you can link that up on Google Analytics to see how many people actually filled out that form based on that specific URL.
So now the focus of your service is someone comes to you with a specific product or service, and you build around it an organic strategy to convert more leads and clients for that particular service and or product, correct?
Exactly.
Do you do other services, or just this is your main focus?
That's pretty much my main focus. I mean, I do some freelance writing for people who aren't interested in all the SEO side of things, but I've been slowly kind of weaning off that because I'm really focused in on what we can do really well for our clients. And I mean, we've built out this system over the last 5 years, and we know it works, so it's kind of a no-brainer for us.
How is your 90-day guarantee works? I read that you provide customers with that.
Say that again?
How your 90 days guarantee works when you work with clients. You offer something like that, I read? Yeah,
so essentially when someone works with me, I have a money-back guarantee in the sense that if you don't start to see some kind of a return on your investment within 90 days, then you can get your money back. I've never had anybody actually use it because everybody's seen the return. But essentially, I'm not saying you're going to make all of your money back within 90 days. What I'm saying is that you're going to start to see the results. You're going to see your rankings climb. You're going to see your traffic increase. You're going to see potentially some sales increases within those 90 days of working with me.
You work on commission basis as well sometimes with some clients, or just you fix a specific fee based on the projects, or per hour as well you charge?
Yeah, I do individual consulting. I charge $300 an hour for that. I don't have a ton of consulting clients because a lot of the time I find it's easier for them to just hand it off as opposed to actually doing all of this stuff themselves, because it is a lot. But yeah, I do offer that.
Okay. You talk about webinar as one of the tools for conversion. Which tool you use for webinars?
For webinars?
Yeah.
Click Meeting.
Okay. What do you think of Lead Feeder? And is there any similar tool that do the same job or better?
I have used Lead Feeder a little bit, and I like it. It's just kind of beyond the scope of what we do because, like I said, we're more focused on the search side of things, whereas that's more of a social kind of thing. But there are some things that it can help with on the search engine side of things. So it's a good tool.
Did you work for HubSpot?
No, I've never worked for HubSpot.
Okay. What do you think of the tool, and what's best used for in terms of marketing online?
So are you talking about the CRM?
Yeah.
I've played with it a little bit. Honestly, I found that for me personally, I just use a spreadsheet, and I actually use Asana to track client interactions and prospects. So I've just found that's easier for me just because I feel like HubSpot offers way more features than I really need right now. So.
Okay. What's the other tools that you use in your daily life that makes you more efficient?
So Asana is a huge one. I use that on every single day. It's a project management tool. It's like Trello on steroids. It lets you create boards like Trello, but it also lets you create like individual task lists. And you can actually create different boards, quote unquote, for different projects. So I actually set up different boards for each of my employees and my partner, and just assign things through there. And then I also use Slack on a daily basis to communicate with my team and with my clients. And Google Docs and Google Sheets I use that every single day too.
How your daily life or work routine looks like when you wake up in the morning until you sleep?
So I'm a person who likes variety. I tried doing morning routines and they do work to some extent, but for me, I usually like to get rolling with whatever I'm feeling with that morning, whatever's kind of inspiring me. And I start with the most interesting task first, just to kind of get my juices flowing. and then I, use that momentum build up from that first task being done to kind of carry myself through any other boring tasks that I might have to do.
You mentioned the top 3 marketing, tactics or strategies that works for you, which is referrals, you said, podcasts, and I forgot the other one.
Guest posts.
Guest posting. Which one worked for you the most?
That's tough. I'd say they're split pretty evenly. I think guest posting overall has been just barely edged out as the number one, just because that's gotten me so many different types of clients. But for quality clients, I think referrals is number one. So it depends on the type of client. But numbers, guest posting, quality, referrals, easy sales, podcasts.
You set a target for guest posting per month. Let's say you say once per month, twice per month, like that, or you just.
Yeah, I usually write at least 3 a month, but there are some months where I'll go crazy and I'll write like 10,
Okay.
And then there are other months where I don't write any at all. So.
And you find it more effective when you write it, you guest post it, you don't put it on your own website.
Well, the reason I do so many guest posts is because I also use guest posting for link building. So I link back to my own content, to my clients' content through my guest posts. So it's kind of like a win-win-win. I get my name in front of a new audience, I build links to my content, and I get more traffic to everything.
Top 3 mentors, if you have mentors.
Top 3 mentors. Okay, so I worked directly with Jamie Masters for a while. Learned a lot from her. I'd say my number one mentor as far as SEO goes is Brian Dean from Backlinko. I've been following him for years, and I've taken his course. And a third person.
And the first one was your mentor in which area? The lady?
Jamie, we worked directly together on. I actually paid her as my business coach.
Okay.
And then Brian, I never actually worked with him. I don't really talk to him. I mean, we email sometimes, but we don't contact each other on the phone or anything like that. But I've just, like I said, I've taken his course. I've read like all of his content. I've learned a lot from him. And those are the 2 that are coming to the top of my head. I know there's more. I just drawn a blank.
What's your other hobbies? Do you do any other hobbies during your day?
Yeah. So I love hiking. I'm big into hiking. Haven't been able to do much of that lately because the weather in PA right now sucks. We just got 3 feet of snow the other week in spring. But I'm a big video game player. I play League of Legends a lot. So between those things, they kind of keep me busy, between that and work and my girlfriend.
Top 3 apps on your smartphone.
Good question. Where's my smartphone? Gmail is one that I use every single day. Voice recording app. I have a voice recording app, so that way when I'm taking a walk or something and I think of something, I'll just talk to myself about it and record it so I can write it down later. And a notes app. Any kind of notes app. I don't really use my smartphone too much, to be honest with you. I use it mostly for checking email and calls.
Is there any habits that you're working on to trying to develop to stay more efficient?
Yeah, so this isn't necessarily, I guess it is kind of a habit. I'm trying to document my processes and everything that I do better, so that way I can train Kayla, my business partner, and also our employees better on all of the processes that we have for our business. So I'm trying to make it a habit of getting everything out of my head and down onto paper or in a document.
You like writing sometimes is tough, and if you are depressed, how do you change your mood? What do you do?
Yeah, I've dealt with a lot of depression in my life. When I was a kid, I was very depressed, even borderline suicidal. And I've overcome that through time, through learning, honestly, has been one of the biggest things for me, learning and just trying new things that seemed interesting to me. So I've read a ton of business books. If you see, I actually have a little bookshelf over here. And reading, to me, has been one of the easiest ways to overcome any kind of depression, because when you're learning, when you're curious, the opposite of boredom is curiosity. And being curious really kind of stimulates your mind, and it gets you away from thinking about yourself, your body, your problems, and into this kind of abundance mindset.
And what's the best advice you have ever received?
Best advice ever. Oh. I don't know if I can pick just one best piece.
What would you advise your younger self if you have the chance to go back?
I would say don't care as much what other people think. When I was younger, I had a big problem with, how I looked, what I would wear, where I would go, who I would talk to, how I would talk. I was always nervous that somebody was going to be judging me, or somebody was going to, bully me or be mean to me, because I was bullied as a kid. And since I've let go of that kind of constant need for approval from other people, life has just been immensely better.
You like reading books. What are your top 3?
Oh, that's another really hard question. All right, I'll give you the one I'm reading right now, it's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And it's basically all about changing your life, and it's based in like neuroscience and quantum physics, and it's super fascinating. Definitely check it out. Other than that, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg is another really, really good book. I believe that your success or failure in life is simply a matter of your daily habits. And then a third one,
you like
only
reading
because
about habits.
What's that?
You like reading about habits.
Yeah, I know. The two of them were about habits, funny enough. That's because I like to control my own habits, because I was addicted to video games when I was younger, very much because of the depression and everything. It was kind of an escape. So figuring out how to control that habit, not necessarily break it, because I still like video games, but being able to be in more control, in the driver's seat, so to speak, and habits are really how to do that. And then another good one, just because I'm looking at it, a good business book, if you're hiring someone, is this one right here. I don't know, can you see that?
Who? Okay.
It's called Who by Geoff Smart and Randy Street, and it's essentially a step-by-step process on how to hire A players onto your team. A lot of money and time and energy is wasted on bad hires and poor hiring decisions, and it's a really difficult thing to do. But this book, it's almost impossible to make a bad hire if you follow these people's directions. And we actually used it to hire our virtual assistant, and she is amazing. So it really works.
Top 3, beside your mentors, top 3 people that you are inspired by.
Good question. I would say Joe Dispenza, the guy whose book I just mentioned. I'm definitely really inspired by him and what he's accomplished and his teachings. And I might only be saying that just because I'm reading his book right now. Who else?
Do you read lots of articles every day? Like you have. How do you consume information other than reading books?
Oh, I have a perfect one. Gail Breton and Mark, I forget his last name, but they run a site called Authority Hacker, and they're really inspiring. They're amazing at what they do. They're really good at systematizing everything and running businesses. They've been a huge source of inspiration for me. And then what was that other question?
How do you consume information other than reading books? Do you use audio as well, or just you read articles, certain number of articles per day, or?
I don't read a certain number per day. I just kind of read them when I'm, have a little extra time. Mostly.
How do you research when you write? Before you write, do you research some articles as well about the same subject?
Yeah, when I'm in the process of writing, I will scan through articles to do some research, and I do reading there. But most of my personal knowledge gaining, whatever you want to call that, is through books and through podcasts and audiobooks. Yeah. I actually do more podcasts and audiobooks than I do physical books. I kind of go back and forth between the two.
Any book project for you?
A book project? What do you mean?
Like to write a book yourself?
Yes, it's definitely on the to-do list. I'm trying to figure out what exactly I would actually want to write about.
SEO. I give you the subject.
Well, I'm actually, I'm actually doing a course on SEO, so maybe I'll write a book to promote my course or something like that. Who knows?
Okay. Really appreciate your time with us. Last question, how people can contact you?
Yeah, sure. So you can see me through billwidmer.com, my website. Email me at bill@billwidmer.com. And like I said, I'm really active on LinkedIn. If you want to find me there, it's linkedin.com/in/billwidmer.
Thank you so much, Bill, for your time with us. Really appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you, Ahmed. It was a lot of fun.
My pleasure. Thanks, everyone. Be efficient and stay efficient. If you want help to start and build your business, just visit ahmedkaremli.com or beefficient.tv. See you soon with another episode.
Good luck, guys. Reach out to me if you have questions.
Thanks for watching or listening. It means the world to me if you would leave an honest review of the show on iTunes or any other podcast platform that you are listening through. And big thanks to all the people who have already reviewed the show.
Discover how to build and scale your business profitability and performance with less time, effort, and cost. Check out efficientpreneur.com.